How do limiting resources drive ecological species competition? Imagine a busy marketplace where everyone wants the same limited item. In nature, species face this same challenge when resources like food, water, space, or nutrients are scarce. When many species need the same limited resource, they start competing for it. This competition affects which species thrive, how their populations grow, and how they share habitats. Resources are called limiting when they are in short supply compared to what species need to survive and reproduce. When a resource is limiting, species must compete to get enough of it. Sometimes this competition happens between individuals of the same species, which is called intraspecific competition. Other times it occurs between different species, known as interspecific competition. The competitive exclusion principle explains that two species cannot share the exact same niche forever. If they compete for the same resource, one will eventually outcompete the other and take over. For example, if two types of algae compete for the same nutrients in a pond, the one that can use the nutrients more efficiently will dominate, pushing the other to decline. But species often find ways to avoid this direct fight. They do this through resource partitioning, where they use the same resource differently. For instance, one species might feed during the day while another feeds at night, or they might live in different parts of the habitat, like one in the shade and another in the open sun. This way, they reduce direct competition and can coexist peacefully. Another idea is the R-star rule. It says that the species which can survive at the lowest level of a limiting resource will tend to win. If two species compete for multiple resources, they can coexist if each is better at competing for different resources. For example, one might be better at getting water, while the other is better at acquiring nutrients. Competition driven by limited resources plays a big role in shaping ecosystems. It can reduce the number of species in a community by pushing out less competitive ones. Over time, it encourages species to specialize and adapt, which can increase diversity. When environments change, like after a fire or flood, different species might take advantage of new opportunities, changing who dominates. In the end, scarcity of vital resources pushes species to compete, adapt, and evolve. This process influences how populations grow, how species interact, and how communities stay balanced. Understanding this helps us see why some species thrive while others struggle in the same environment.